Thank you.
That sounded, and you just don't stop. I mean, first of all, thank you so much for being here because you're so...
It's a great show. You know, I've seen it, and congratulations on all the good reports on the show.
Thank you.
Really
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you.
So, I mean, really, it's surreal to me because, you know, I mean, we don't really know each other. I adore you, and I'm backstage listening to Elton John Greatest Hits, which you just kind of forget that it's, you know, the songs are your song, Rocketman, Crocodile Rock, Daniel, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Benny and the Jets, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, Philadelphia Freedom, Don't Go Breaking My Heart. I guess it's why you called it. I mean, I would take up the whole time just listening to songs that you've, I mean, what do you think, really? I mean, that your career has gone through, it lasted this long, since the 70s.
Right. It's been 34 years since I first came to America, September 1970. And it all happened here in Los Angeles at the Troubadour Club. Got a great review from Robert Hilburn in the LA Times, and it just kind of took off from there before it even happened in England. And so a lot to be grateful for for this country. I mean, it's been kind of my home in a way as far as music goes for a long time.
Well, it's you know, I mean, it's not just that because you forget. I mean, I've seen you in concert. Your voice is amazing. Your songwriting is amazing. You know, 5 Grammys, Tony Award, 1 Oscar, and knighted. I mean, you know, did you think that would happen? You'd be Sir Elton John?
Most people thought it'd be Lady Elton John. But you know.
Yeah.
I butched up for a day and I became Sir Elton John.
Oh, yeah, you certainly did butch up. Here's a picture of you and David just out to dinner or something like that.
Yeah, that's going up to the local kind of...
Yeah. Yeah, that's... you really have gone through some looks. I mean, this is... What year is this, that you would dress like this on stage?
That would be about 1973.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and that costume was made by Bill Webb.
And now... you really, I mean, the outrageous outfits, all joking aside, you're as much a shopper as I am. You are a shopaholic.
Yeah, I am, yes.
And what do you enjoy? Because you just had a little garage sale, right?
Well, we had a garage sale yesterday in England. We're changing our house in London and we're making it entirely modern and putting air conditioning in because we need it now. It's so hot over there. And I just got tired of the, you know, I love modern art and I love photography. So we're changing the house, so we sold the stuff at Sotheby's yesterday, which went very well.
Yeah, so it's not a typical garage sale.
No.
Yeah.
You know, I do that so often. I have a clear eye. The first one was in 1989 where I sold practically everything except for 4 paintings. Sold my cars a couple of years ago and bought a place in Venice instead. And I like change.
Yeah, well, sure. That's exciting because you live in a lot of different places. You live in Atlanta. You don't.
I have a base in Atlanta from my American base because I have a lot of friends there, and it's great for me centrally. I can fly back and forwards. Say if I'm in Chicago, I'll fly home to Atlanta every night on the plane, so I go home to my own bed. So I can do everything from Atlanta except New York, Canada, Seattle, and LA.
Atlanta's beautiful, too.
It's a great city.
I lived there for a couple months myself. Yeah. It's really great. And so would you play something else while we're sitting here? Like, would you?
Yeah.
Like, maybe, this is an interesting story.
Right.
This was almost not a part of this that you won an Oscar for.
Well, the whole Lion King project changed my life because Tim Rice rang me one day and said, Disney said that you would never write the music for The Lion King. And I said, well, of course I would. And he said, well, there you go. I told them that you would do it. So we wrote it, and not thinking that it would be the phenomenon that it's become and, you know, spawned musicals. And now I've written other musicals. I've written 2 this year and have Aida as well. So it opened the door to so many things for me. And they're releasing on DVD after a while. Yeah.
So just real quick before you play that, because I love music as much as you do. I saw that you kind of get behind new artists and are good at picking. And I saw that you love Remy Shand. What happened? Well, I love Remy Shand as well. What happened that he didn't just take off like crazy?
Well, his album did very, very well in America without a hit single. And I think it did very, very well.
He's great.
He's fantastic.
Who else do you like right now that we should be looking at?
What do I like? Fountains of Wayne, who have a fabulous record called Welcome Interstate Managers. Rufus Wainwright.
Yes, yeah.
Which is called Want One. A boy called Damien Rice from Ireland.
From he did songs in O.
And a group called Kings of Leon. who are
Yeah.
from the South,
Right.
and English band called The Darkness, and there's so much
And
good
you
stuff
love Mary
happening.
J. Blige, and I love Mary J. Blige.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
Yeah.
and Outkast.
Yeah.
Absolutely love
Outkast, the new Outkast is pretty
Whoa,
impressive.
it's happening.
Outkast is going to be on the show.
Oh,
We just got
they're
them.
happening, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is no other way to introduce our first guest except to call him a musical genius. Please welcome back to the show the one and only Sir Elton John. I'm just checking out what you're wearing, just
Yeah.
because, see, even though it seems like a black suit, look at the back and look at how the zippers on the back of the...
Yeah.
Who makes that?
Yoji Yamamoto.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
They make an excellent salad.
They do, yes.
They chop it right at the table for you, Yoji Yamamoto. So I can't even believe it. I was watching you during rehearsal, and I was telling the audience before you came out here how I just adore you, and I love you, and every time I hear your music, I love you, and then I see you in person and hear you in person, and it just is even better than what you, because usually people don't live up to their albums, and you are, if it's possible, even better live.
Thank you.
Which is... And... Which is rare, you know. I mean, you go see people and you hope that they're going to live up to what you expect from them.
Well, if I'm no good by now, then I should retire. I've been on the road since I was 17, so that's, oh God, that's 40 years. As you get older, you should be getting better. You know, I seen Tony Bennett last year. He was 72, and I've never seen him sing better. So, I mean, there you go.
Yeah, but that's great, but that's rare. That's not always... I mean,
Yeah.
I saw Stevie Wonder in the same thing. Stevie
Yeah.
Wonder was amazing. And this is... You said you were doing it for 40 years. It's your 43rd album?
This is my 43rd album, yeah.
That's... You just keep churning them out, and this song is beautiful as well. And I know you're doing tons of press for the album right now. And other than that, I haven't really heard much about you in the press. Nothing's really going on. What's going on? What's happening?
Well, there were a couple of incidents that happened close to each other. I mean, we were in Taiwan for a concert, and we arrived there after a 7-hour journey because you can't fly from China, where we were before, because they don't think Taiwan exists. So we had to go through Hong Kong into Taiwan. We arrived at 12 o'clock at night after 7 hours. We knew we were going to have to go through the terminal. That's okay. But we were just bombarded by cameramen and photographers who wouldn't let us walk because they were walking backwards very slowly. It was a kind of half-a-mile walk to the immigration. They were allowed to photograph us going through immigration, which took 45 minutes. And you know what? At the end, they became abusive. I became abusive. And, you know, one thing led to another. So... But you know what? I'm 57. I'm fed up with pussyfooting around things.
Yeah. Yeah. They
Thank
don't
you.
show the side that makes you do things like that. How aggravating, and you're exhausted after 7 hours.
I'm
and-
human, you know.
Yeah.
I just, you know, we went, and it was a shame because the whole of the Far East that we went to was so brilliant. China, South Korea, Hong Kong, and Taiwan itself. The concert and the people could not have been better. They could have not have been nicer. And you know, to show what it's like between the press in Taiwan, they have this thing with the police at the airport where they can go through the metal detectors with their cameras, and the metal detectors go off, and the police don't care. So you know, flying out of Taipei is not exactly a security good idea, I don't think, because it's just weird, you know.
Well, and I would imagine, like you said, you've been...
You know, I'll give a photographer any, you know, I go through the airport at London, the guys are nice, how are you doing? You got off a 12-hour flight from LA, you don't feel very good. But, you know, they're human beings, they're very nice, they ask you a question, they take your photograph, and they go away. These guys were walking backwards so slowly, they wouldn't. They said, why don't you get out of Taiwan? And this is not the first time it's happened to people, so they just caught me at the wrong moment. And you know what? I ain't gonna put up with it.
Yeah, well, good. Good
Yeah.
for you. Because I would think that it would be really hard for you. I mean, you're doing the show in Las Vegas right now, which I'm dying to see, which is supposed to be incredible.
It is a great show, thanks to David LaChapelle, the fusion of my music and what he's done behind me and in front of me and whatever. I wanted to raise the bar. You know, we went to Las Vegas, and everyone thought, oh well, Elton's going to Vegas now. It's the end of his career. But the whole point of going to Vegas, and this beautiful theater which Caesars have built for Celine Dion, was to go there when she had some time off. So I'm having a ball.
I'm dying to see it because I heard it was amazing, and David LaChapelle is a genius. But my question is, first of all, so you're doing it in the same theater as Celine Dion?
Yeah.
Now, who's the bigger diva, would you say? Is it... Like, did she leave anything in the dressing room?
I don't leave any banana skins outside her room, but she's a really nice lady. I mean, I first met Celine Dion when she was about 14 or 15, when she won the Eurovision Song Contest, so I've known her for quite some time. Everybody at Caesar's Palace who works backstage, and that's what you can judge, loves her.
Yeah.
Because she treats everyone great, and she has that reputation. So as far as I'm concerned, she may be a diva, but she's a nice diva.
That's important.
Yeah.
All right, but I have more questions about, I don't even know how, because you're living in the hotel in Las Vegas?
I have.
All right, I got to ask you questions about that. We have to take a break. We'll
Okay.
be right back. We're back with the incredible Sir Elton John, and you were saying that you're in Vegas right now performing for a little while, and so you're living in the hotel.
Right.
What do you do all day? I mean, do you gamble? Do you hang out?
I don't gamble. I just hang out. You know, I travel so much all during the year that it's actually nice to be in one place for 2 or 3 weeks. I've tried to go out shopping, you know, because people know I like to shop, but I get chased down the mall by, you know, I'm 57. I said to someone to my friend Bob Halley, who looks after me, we were running from these people who were chasing us. We had to go out the back of Virgin Records, and I said, you know, this is ridiculous. I'm 57. 30 years ago, this would have been fine.
Yeah.
But, I listen to records. I catch up with my mail. I'm doing promotion for the album that's coming out. So I'm pretty busy during the day. I work out during the mornings, have a trainer, play tennis. So.
Because I would think that would be really hard when you were talking about how aggravating the press can get if you're trying to go somewhere, and that you're always just bombarded. I mean, but the fact that, and I know you love to shop, so that might, now, were you going to the Gap? Where were you headed? Have you ever been in the Gap?
I've been to the Gap, yes.
You've been to the Gap?
Yeah, I've been to the Gap.
Have you ever bought anything at the Gap?
Only for kids.
They have
my
cute...
godchildren. They have the best kids' clothes there.
Really cute.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Target?
Yes, I have.
Because I know you're like...
In France, it's called Target.
Target, that's right. It's very fancy there. And that's what I love, too, is that you can get any music you want from the record companies, but you actually go and buy...
I hate getting free records. I go and buy. There's, you know, one of the things you should do is go and buy records if you like to buy CDs, and I do.
To support it.
young acts, you know?
Yeah. Now, and just briefly, because I don't want to bring this up really, I'm sure you're sick of it, but we're talking about musicians and performances. There was a problem with Madonna. Are y'all okay right now? I just want to make sure, because I care.
I was at a music awards ceremony in London, and everybody, the host of it was, you know, taking, as the English say, the piss out of everybody. And I got a songwriting award, and Madonna was nominated in a section, Best Live Gig of the Year. And all these bands that really work hard go out and play and, you know, earn their crust in their vans. And I just thought, Madonna is an incredible performer, but if it said Best Show of the Year, I wouldn't have minded. But there is an element in her show which is pre-recorded, and even though she said it's not. And I just said, you know, she shouldn't get even nominated for that. If it's best show,
like lip syncing, you're saying?
Yeah. And I know she's not the only one to do it, and she's not the biggest offender by any means, because most, you know, she does sing live in a lot of things. But my argument was, well, they say, well, she dances a lot. But then I've seen Shirley MacLaine, and I've seen Liza Minnelli, I've seen Bette Midler, and I've seen Mick Jagger at 60 run around the stage for 2.5 hours. I think she's a great artist. I think she's one of the most innovative artists that have come out, but she's a product of the video generation. She's not like, you know, we were talking about, she's not a me, she's not a Clapton, she's not that. She's an entirely different... The 80s changed things, and Madonna was part of that. She's written great songs. I have complete admiration for her, but I don't think she should have been included in Best Live Gig of the Year when some of it's pre-recorded. I just think it's wrong.
Yeah. But it's an amazing...
I know, do I have respect for her?
It's an amazing show.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, y'all are friends, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I just, you know, me and my big mouth. And these bands... These bands go around and they're trying to learn their craft and their musicianship by playing live every night. And that's what you know, if you go and see a show and you're paying $300 a ticket, which I think some of the, you should be told beforehand that some of this music isn't live.
Right. Well, sometimes
You can
tell sometimes, you know.
You can tell sometimes, yeah.
I mean, when I'm right after I dance, a lot of times I lip sync a lot of the stuff when I sit down.
Well,
because I'm out of breath.
I just think if you're going to perform on stage live, you should sing live and you should play live. That is the essence of it.
Of live.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, we have to, we're going to go to commercial and we're going to come back and you're going to sing.
Having said that, I'm going to mime to my next record.
Yeah, I was going to say, would you lip sync this next song?
Yeah.
We're going to come back and you're going to sing a new song from Peachtree Road, your new CD. We got this email that, Mary, I don't have my glasses. These are not my glasses.
Let me see what I can do.
These are crazy. These are, I like them, but I don't. They're yours. What are you doing here?
I came in to babysit for Tom and Katie, and
sweet.
yes, and so I can't stay long.
Okay, well, and somehow we got our glasses switched. So, yeah. Well, they look better on you.
I wonder where they're gone. They're so small. You can mislay them anywhere, really.
Right. Well, you look great. You're going to be here Monday, so.
I'm going to be here Monday. Yeah.
I'm glad you're in town.
After I've looked and washed a few nappies. Yes.
With Surrey is her name, right? Surrey is her name.
Surrey, yes, with a fringe on top.
Yes. All right. So Elton's here Monday, and we'll see you Monday. And stick around. When we come back, I'm going to make that phone call to City Hall and get some stuff done. Thank you.
Okay.
We love you is what we're saying. I mean, every time you're here, I just can't get over the fact that I get to, talk to you.
Oh, thank you.
Because it's just so cool to see you here. And congratulations on getting married. That's pretty amazing that everybody...
Thank you.
So, how long have you and David been together?
We were together 12 years before we... It's not exactly marriage, it's called a civil union, but it's kind of like the same things. We have the same rights as married people.
Tax benefits, all that stuff?
Yep.
Good. That's great. So, and you did it. Was it something that you always wanted to do and you just waited for it to be legalized there, or why did you get married now?
Because it became legislation. The Labour government in Britain made it legislation. And we thought that we would do it on the first day that legislation came into being, which was the 21st of December last year. And, we wanted to, we love each other very much, and we wanted to protect each other by law, which we couldn't do before. And, if two people love each other, I believe that they should be protected and should have the same rights as other people because, love is universal. I think it's just a universal thing. So.
Yeah. I think that too,
Yeah.
So, what was cool is it was so celebrated. I mean, by everybody there.
Yeah, we got
Were you
married
surprised?
we got married in the same place and by the same registrar as Charles and Camilla. And I think we had more people outside, and everyone was so generous and cheering, and we had no protesters or anything thrown at us. It was a very joyous day, and our parents, both our parents were there. And our dog, and it was a very...
Was the dog the best man? Is that what I heard?
Huh?
The dog was the best man?
He certainly was. Yeah.
So, now, and did James Blunt sang Beautiful, is that right?
He sang You're Beautiful. Joss Stone sang God Only Knows. And the three boys there's a big show in England musical called Billy Elliot, which will be coming to Broadway next year, which is the #1 musical in Britain, which I happened to help write. And they sang and danced from the show as well. I didn't know any of that was going to happen.
Oh, really?
No.
Did David plan the whole
He
wedding?
organised that, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And how many people were at the wedding?
650.
Wow.
And not one photograph got out. It was, we wanted it to be entirely private. We didn't want to, publicize it to the extent that, people didn't feel comfortable coming to the reception. And we had the most fun time, and it was one of the most magical days of my life. And it turned out to be those days can be very harrowing for people.
Yeah.
But this one wasn't. It was great.
Yeah. You were dressed pretty subdued. I would think that you would, because your outfits are usually outrageous. So I would think you would have had some crazy outrageous outfit for...
Well, that would have been what people would have thought.
Right.
But I wanted this to be a very classy occasion. And I wanted to look back in 20 years' time and say, yeah, I'm glad I wore that instead of that.
Right. So, and now, if you saw Tantrums and Tiaras, the documentary, I think people know that you can have a temper once in a while.
Well, I think every artistic person in the world has a temper. I think
Right.
everybody in life has a temper.
Right.
But I think artistic people are prone to more outbursts than others.
Yes. So 12 years, you and David being together,
Yeah.
what is the thing that y'all fight about that you've finally worked out that you can fight and still kind of stay together? Is there one thing that you fight about?
We have rows every so often. It's good to have a healthy blowout row. It's usually over the smallest thing, and it's usually if one of us is tired. And we've had scenes where I've thrown a bottle of Plax at him at the hotel in New York, which exploded all over the bathroom, which we just ended up laughing at. But we haven't had too many rows at all. He's pretty good at calming me down if I'm in a bad way, and I'm pretty good at cheering him up if he gets in a bad way. That's what the relationship is, a very 50-50 relationship. It's not me and then there's David. That's the mistake I made in all my past relationships. I took hostages and prisoners and expected them to adapt to my lifestyle.
Right.
And this one has been a 50-50 relationship because David had a job when I met him, which most other people didn't. He had his own place, he had his own car. He didn't come out of an assembly line with a Versace shirt and a Cartier watch like everyone else has. He had an opinion. It's always been 50-50. I've never had that in my life before because I wouldn't let people do it. And I've done a lot of work on myself. I'm 16 years sober this year.
That's great.
Thank you.
Well, that changes everything.
That changed my whole life. Doing that, I took a year off. I went to rehab for 6 weeks. It was the best thing I ever did in my life. It taught me a lot. I learned how to listen instead of not listening to people who knew better than I did. And it just changed my life, and my life has been incredible. I had an incredible life up to that point, but since then, it's been so much easier because I know what to do now. And I don't run away, and I don't drink, and I don't take drugs. I deal with the situations that come up, and I have a partner in my life who is great and helps me to do that.
And is it hard for you, because I know you have a lot of friends in the business that are struggling with that right now.
Yeah.
Is it hard for you to see them, and do you just go, they've got to hit bottom when they hit bottom and they've got to find it, or do you want to say to them, let me help you?
They always know that I will be there to help them. Some of them don't want the help because they haven't reached the point in their life where they're going to ask for it. I mean, it took me 16 years to ask for help. It's a very, pride can kill you, and you associate your own intelligence by saying, I know I'm making a mess of my life, but I can fix it, and of course I couldn't fix it. So when I actually asked for help, then I got better. But there have been people who've asked me to help that have got incredibly better. Rufus Wainwright being one, who's just gone from, it's just nothing he can't do at the moment. He's just brilliant.
He's brilliant.
And it's so great to see him and be happy.
Yeah, he's a brilliant songwriter.
Yeah, and when he asked me for help, I told him what to do, and he went.
Yeah.
And he did it, and it's so great to see him.
Yeah, it must be hard, though, because there are people right now that, we're watching have problems. It's really hard.
Yeah. Really
hard. All right, we have to take a break. We'll be right back with Elton. We're back with Sir Elton John. So that's now what made you want to write Lestat? This is the new musical. It's in New York right now.
Yeah. I've been wanting to write this with Bernie Taupin, who is my partner in crime in songs, since the early 70s, because we read the Anne Rice books, Interview with the Vampire and The Vampire Lestat. This is an amalgamation of the two books, and it was a subject matter that fascinated us. And the rights to it only came up 2 or 3 years ago, and Warner Brothers own the rights, and they said, well, we've never done a Broadway musical before, but we'd love to do it. And so here we are, 3 years later, with a musical on Broadway, which is my third one on Broadway. The fourth one's coming next year. But this is a different one. This is writing about a vampire, so it's a tougher job than writing for, say, Billy Elliot, because you've got to get people to walk out wanting to be a vampire. That's what the books did. At the end of Interview with the Vampire, I thought, God, I'd like to be a vampire. And so that's, how do they do that? So that's what we've tried to do. We took it out to San Francisco, first of all, and played it there, and it wasn't very good. So we've changed it so much, and now it's really, really good, and I'm so happy with it.
Oh, that's great. And you and Bernie Taupin, I mean, that's so cool that y'all are working together again.
We never stopped. I mean, we've been writing together for 39 years.
But not this, though.
He's never written a musical with me.
Yeah.
It's his first. I don't know if he'll ever write one again, because I have the easy job. I write the melodies, and the melodies always stay, but the story always changes, and the lyrics change all the time. So he's got the hard job. But I'm a team player, and I loved working with the people on this so much, and I'm really, really proud of it.
Well, I hope you get to see it. I really, my mother lives next door to,
To Bernie, yeah.
Bernie Taupin is my mother's neighbor, which
Yeah.
is so cool. Like, he's like a cowboy. He's riding around on a horse. Hey, Bernie.
Yeah.
Like, he's
So if your mum ever needs a quick lyric, she can just knock on the door.
Yeah.
Not for a cup of sugar. Quick lyric. Yeah.
Right. He's great. He makes great marmalade, too. He brought her some marmalade that he
Yeah.
made by himself.
Great.
Really cool. All right, so anyway, so you have a large collection of photography. You love
Yeah.
photography. And good investment, too, art, when you're spending money.
Modern art, classic paintings, photography. I started collecting photography in 1992 when I got sober, because I saw through different eyes, and I probably have one of the largest collections, private collections in the world, yeah.
Well, we want to add to that photography collection.
Oh, no.
So I got you something that I think you're going to really love. I had it framed, and also we got you a wedding gift. But first, let's... This is,
God, no.
I think you're going to like it. I hope you have room for it. Thank you, Robert. And, well, I hope you like it. Oh, you're sweet.
That's great.
And also, we got you and David a wedding gift. We got you a $50 gift card at Bed Bath & Beyond. And spend it however you like.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
You enjoy yourself.
Thank you.
All right. Elton John's going to sing for us. We'll be right back.
My girl. Thank you.
Isn't that lovely?
That's very nice.
Yes. I love how much they love you, and I love that you. Here's the thing too. I love that I see that you feel it and let it in. I think sometimes I look at people and go, like, these people are loving you, and you're not like feeling it or receiving it, and you're actually genuinely.
How could you not? I mean,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
That's
Thank
lovely,
you very
right?
much.
That's so lovely.
Yeah.
So my first question to you is, do you ever rest? Because you are always doing some new project. I can't believe that you just, do you rest?
I do occasionally, yeah. I'm a bit of a vampire. And not that I don't sleep at nights, but I did have 4 weeks off in the summer.
I see.
But no, God, there's been so much going on this year. And with this album coming out, and I'm starting a new album very soon.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
Yeah, I mean, the next one's going to be different. This one is an autobiographical album, which is the second part after Captain Fantastic. It tells the story of what happened to Bernie, my writing partner, and myself from '70 to 2006. So the first album was really about coping with failure. This one's about coping with success. So, and it's
what
really
are the
interesting.
differences?
Yeah.
What are the differences?
They're about the same. You know, there are highs and lows in everything, and it's just part of life. It was more difficult to cope sometimes with the success than it was to cope with the failure, because the success was so huge and at such an enormous scale that reality went quite out the window. So at least when you were failing, you know, you still went home and, you know, on the tube and stuff like that, and you had a sense of reality. This, it got so big, and it was pretty wild to deal with.
Well, it's incredible to me, and you know, I say a version of this every time you hear, but you know, to grow up and at 16 years old, be listening to your music and absolutely loving you, and to see that you're still, you know, going strong and still producing so many different things.
Well, you know, I've done musicals. We've got Billy Elliot, which is the most successful musical in Britain, and it's coming to America in 2008. We're making films. We're doing an animation movie with Disney, which is starting in London. We have this new album. I tour. I have the AIDS Foundation, which is really important to me.
Yeah, why is that so important? Talk about that, because you have raised so much money.
Well, we've raised over now towards $120 million.
That's amazing.
Thank you. And what it does for me is just take me out of, you know, what I do and what we do. Can get a little self-obsessed sometimes, and it just connects me with something else. And I go and visit projects that we give money to, and you know, I'm basically the front man for this thing. I'm the one that goes out and raises the money by playing, and then all the people that do the hard work in the office every single day, they go and investigate the projects we give money to, and they make sure the money goes to the right places. So, and when I get a chance, I can go and see for myself what a difference it's making, and that's the most rewarding thing you can possibly imagine. Mm-hmm. And I'll be doing it for the rest of my life, because this disease is not going away. They may find a vaccine for it eventually, we hope, God willing, they do, but there's still going to be so many people who have the virus that I'll be doing this forever and ever. And you know what? I don't mind. There are people out there who need to be helped. I do the same with breast cancer. I do the same with colon cancer. I do anything I can do, and if my friends are affected with anything, I'll step in there and do something.
That's fantastic. That's what this is all about.
Yep.
Yeah. And you're launching a fragrance and a candle, right? Is that?
That's true, yes.
And this is, let me smell it. What's the, that smells good.
Yeah.
What is it? Do you know?
It's, there's vanilla in there, definitely.
Yes, there is vanilla.
Yeah, definitely. It's coming out soon. It's really hard to choose fragrances. I play the piano, write songs, and I'm choosing fragrances. I mean, I know I'm gay, but this is ridiculous. You know? This is the one I chose because it's kind of, funnily enough, you had it burning in the dressing room. We said, that's really nice. And then we suddenly realized it was my candle.
That's right. Because we got some. It's beautiful, too. This is absolutely gorgeous. They're sold at Bath and Body Works.
Yeah.
And everybody in the audience today is getting one for free.
Yeah.
We have to take a break. We'll be right back with Elton John. That's at the Fashion Rock Show with Christina Aguilera. Wow, the two of you together, fantastic. So let's talk about, just for a second, there's always, I think they're fun feuds. Like sometimes it's Madonna, sometimes, Rod Stewart and you have an actual, it's not really. It's not
a feud at all. It's been, Rod and I kind of happened at the same time in America. He happened a little before me, and we've always been great friends, and it's been kind of a rivalry that still goes on. We're such good friends, and some of the times we've been so horrible to each other, but it's been really, like for once in England, he was playing a huge venue, Earl's Court, which holds about 18,000 people. And he had a big kind of one of those balloons above it, you know, like a little kind of what do they call those airship things that they, the bud.
Yeah, I couldn't even think of Buckingham Palace. Don't ask me.
Yeah, anyway, so it just said, Rod Stewart here for 3 nights, sold out, so I had it shot down. And then I played a similar venue not far away, and there was a banner across the whole street. It said, tonight, Elton John sold out. It was only up 5 minutes, and he had it cut down. That's the kind of things we're going to...
Didn't you also lock his gates at his house here in LA?
That was Sting.
Oh, I thought you did that.
No.
Everyone gives him a hard time.
Yeah.
He actually one night, my jacket was on the back of my chair, and tied my jacket sleeves in a knot, and I couldn't put my jacket on.
Yeah, that's Rod, yeah.
So now I owe Rod to do something, too.
No, we are great friends, and we have great respect, and we've known each other for so long. It's great to have friends like that who you can call on and, you know, will do things for you. He's been so generous towards the AIDS Foundation. He's given over £1 million in the last 2 years to the AIDS Foundation.
Wow, that's amazing.
And so that's pretty damn amazing.
Well, it's good to see. It's good to see that at 60 years old, almost 60 years old, you still can play pranks like that. That's that you're still.
I think when you're a performer, and the childishness of it all never quite leaves you. You know, it's an English thing as well. You know, the English people seem to get on really well together, and yeah, it's fun. You have to have fun. You're on the road. You go. You know, it's like you travel on the road. And you go crazy, and you're like gypsies, so you have to have fun. I travel around with a group of people that have great sense of humor, and if you don't laugh every day, then, you know, there's something wrong with you. You have to. It just keeps you sane.
It's what keeps you so young and, you know, so productive. I mean, you're constantly, like I said, I mean, you're so prolific with everything that you do.
I love what I do. I'm still enjoying it as much as ever. I still look forward to tomorrow's release day. I have an album coming up, but I'll be going to Tower Records and buying all the other new records that are coming out, because that's what keeps me young. I'm still a fan, so.
Yeah, I love that. And I love to hear all the new artists you're listening to, which I'll ask you in a minute. But all right, we have to take a break, and you're going to be back later and sing for us. But just real quick, how's married life going?
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Good.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You and David are sweet. We'll be right back with Rainn Wilson right after this, and Elton John will sing for us a little later on his new album. Woo! Woo! Look good, you sound good. Congratulations on being a dad. You have two precious little boys.
Uh-huh.
They are, we have to show pictures of both of them. They are so precious. How old are they now?
Zachary will be 2 years, 9 months this week.
Look at him.
And Elijah is 8 months.
8 months. He looks like he's about 4 years old.
Yeah.
And the full name, Zachary, what's Zachary's full name?
Zachary Jackson Levon Furnish John.
It's a long name.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Levon because of the song?
Levon, because of the song, but first of all, because when we tried to adopt a little boy in Ukraine, which prompted us to have our own children because we couldn't adopt him, his name was Lev, full name Levon. And so it was coincidental that we had one of our songs called Levon, but yeah, that's why. And then Elijah's name is Elijah Joseph Daniel. And so we had to have one of my songs. And thank God there was another song with a man's title in it. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's...
Otherwise, he would have had Tiny Dancer as a middle
yeah,
name.
baby, yeah.
They are precious. And how do you, I mean, is that something that when at the end of a night you come home, and does that kind of chill you out, having those two boys?
If I'm coming home and I know they're asleep and, you know, the night light's on in the bedroom, yeah, of course. Every moment of the day you think about them. Your whole priorities in your life change. It's all about them. And it's just... everything I thought would be, you know, kind of scary about having children has not been the case at all. Even when they're misbehaving, it's like, oh, well, they're kids, it's fine. It's been 100,000% plus, you know, in terms of delight, and not one sort of... you worry about them, of course, but, you know, there's been no minus side to having a child whatsoever. It's just amazing. I just wished, and, you know, can't change things now, that we'd done it earlier, but, you know, things happen for a reason, but they're just wonderful.
Yeah, and Zachary is, does it make you more patient? Because kids have tantrums. You've been known in your lifetime to have tantrums.
But all my tantrums have been televised.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone here who's had a tantrum, if they were televised, we'd all be looking...
Right.
His tantrums are usually down to tiredness or hunger or...
That's all of us.
Yeah.
Tiredness and hunger.
Yeah.
We all have that.
Yeah, he has his tantrums, yeah.
Yeah. Now, will you and David, will you get married now that Parliament has passed gay marriage? Or,
absolutely.
Because you have civil union, but now you're going to get married?
Yeah.
Good for you. That was amazing what you did initially. I mean, that was beautiful.
Well, we got married had our civil partnership on the first day it was legally possible. You know, same-sex people have been waiting a long time for things to happen for them, and I've been through hell through the 50s and 60s and even before then. So that when a government gives you this legislation, which is so wonderful and we didn't expect it to come so soon in society, then you seize it by the horns and you say, yes, we're going to do this because it's such a gift and we never thought we'd get it. And now with the marriage thing, we won't have a big wedding because we've already done that with a civil partnership. But it did make a difference when we had our civil partnership, when we exchanged vows. It made our relationship stronger. We're 20 years together this year. So that's a long time.
Beautiful, yeah.
But a commitment like that really is, you know, it strengthened our relationship, even though we've been together 13 years before that.
Yeah.
So it's great.
Yeah, it feels different, doesn't it?
Have you done it?
Yeah, we've been married 5 years now,
Wow.
and we've been together 9 years. But
Yeah.
it's it feels good. Now let's talk about, you're very outspoken about your especially in music. So let's talk
Right.
about Miley Cyrus right now.
Miley Cyrus, listen, I've been in the business a long time. Let me tell you what worked at the VMAs. Miley Cyrus went on and performed like she did. And the whole purpose of VMAs, when you've got all these big artists competing against each other for attention, is to flatten the opposition. She flattened the opposition. Nobody talked about anybody else except Miley. She has 2 records in the top 10. She has this #1 single. And even though I thought it was a weird performance, this was the thing that made me go, that was the thing that I just couldn't, it wasn't the dancing or anything or touching Robin Thicke's What's It. You know what? I've known her for a long time. She's a big supporter of the Elton John Foundation. She's a terrific girl. Her dad's been in the business for a long time. It was a controversial performance that got everybody talking, and that's what it's supposed to do.
She does have talent. That's the one thing about her. She's got a great voice.
She's been around for a
really,
long time.
Yeah.
She's been, Hannah Montana. And
she's going through a little bit of a period of
she's
rebellion.
18, for 19 or whatever it is.
Exactly, yeah. She's 18
I'll
or
take
19.
her old boyfriend, though.
Yeah. You're married, you just said. Wait. What happened,
listen,
what happened to that commitment thing you were just talking about?
It's called, as the French say, a bit on the side.
I see.
But he's gorgeous.
And yes, he is. He's very handsome. His brother's handsome, too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
those Australians, right?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't know.
I like Australians. And then Lady Gaga, what is you're worried about her for some reason? Are you worried?
No, I'm not worried about it. That was
Oh.
in Australian press, and I'm not worried about her at all.
Oh, okay, good.
No, that was something in the Australian press, and we all know what they're like. No, I'm not worried about her in the least.
Okay.
No.
That's what I wanted to know.
There was a story saying I was worried about her, and it's like,
I didn't know why you were worried. All right, we're going to take a...
She's godmother to my 2 children, so I'm not worried about her at all.
Oh, now I feel... Well, maybe she hasn't given you this, because I feel like you should already have this for your boys. I'm sure she gives them gifts all the time, but they have...
Oh, my God.
They have little...
Oh, my God.
So they can go see you in Vegas.
Oh.
Right?
Wow.
They have their little glasses.
How beautiful is that? Thank you so much.
I can't believe Lady Gaga didn't get you stuff like that already. Maybe I should be the godmother to your children.
Yeah.
Add me on there, okay?
All right, okay.
And I'll give you more stuff. All right. We're gonna take a break. This album is fantastic, by the way, and really, really beautiful songs, great reviews. To have a career as long as you've been going, to still keep making amazing, amazing music. Congratulations to you.
And doing it up in the Home Shopping Network, right?
Yeah. All right, we'll be back.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
You are still standing after all this time. You wrote a good song, I'm Still Standing After All This Time.
I'm still standing, but now I'm sitting.
Now you're
Yes.
sitting.
Yeah.
You are so, it's amazing. Every time I see you, you just are, you're incredibly the same. Like you are so entertaining live. You just have so much energy and exuberance. And I love watching you play piano and sing. I love it.
I'm still lucky enough to be able to do this. And the more I get older, the more I seem to enjoy it. And it's been my life since I was 3 years old, music. So it's been my companion for the whole of my life.
Yeah. And when you don't have to do it, you clearly love it, because you could be home with your husband and your kids. And congratulations, you got married since the last time I saw you.
Yes, I did, yeah.
How long have y'all... I'm sorry. So how long have you and David been together before you got married?
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
And married now 4? 3?
No, 1. was our first anniversary in December.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For some reason, it felt like it was a while
No.
ago.
It was only legal for... because I have a civil partnership before it was hard for me to get married. They had to change the law. So we got married in December on the anniversary of our civil partnership.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. And the kids are how old now?
Jackery is 5 on Christmas Day, and Elijah was 3 on Monday, on the 11th of January. So.
And I can imagine, I mean, it's a silly question, but they've just changed your life.
If you'd have said to me 10 years ago, I'd be sitting on your show, married to the man I love, and have 2 beautiful children, I said you'd have put acid in my drink. But life throws you challenges, and life throws you curveballs, and great curveballs. And these 2 children have come along at a time when I never thought I'd have children. They are the greatest thing in our lives. There's no words to describe how much we love these boys. They're just amazing.
They're adorable.
Yeah.
They're absolutely adorable. And are they musical at all?
They love, they love Hotline Bling. That's their favorite song. And they love Uptown Funk. And then Zachary likes Kraftwerk, which is a bit worrying.
Wow.
Well, I love Kraftwerk myself, but it's very strange for a 5-year-old to like it.
Yes, it is.
And they can sing my songs, too. They sing Rocketman, Don't Go Breaking My Heart, and Benny and the Jets.
I was going to ask you if they've heard your music.
They love music. They're not that keen on what I do. They're kind of more interested in their Lego, which is fine by me.
Yeah. So, but if they would play piano, that would be fine with you too.
If they wanted to, I'm not going to push them in any direction whatsoever.
Yeah, well,
they're just little kids at the moment.
Yeah, of course. I saw pictures of you. You took them. First of all, you took them skiing, and we have a picture of you taking them skiing, which is.
Yeah.
Now, do you ski?
Not at all.
Oh.
No. Be like the Queen Mother going down the slopes.
Yeah.
Good evening. It's amazing how young kids love skiing because they're so close to the ground.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Danny DeVito skiing, I suppose. You know, it's like, but they love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you took them to Disneyland, which these people must have been freaking out when they saw Elton John at Disneyland.
Yes, well, the day that we went, I sprained my ankle just as we were leaving. Hence, I ended up in a wheelchair, which was kind of great because then nobody recognized who I was. And it was the first time they'd been, and they went on a lot of things, including the teacups, which I hate. And of course, you see my picture there, I'm like sitting there like that because my head's going like that, and Zachary just laughing his head off.
Have they seen like all the crazy outfits that you used to wear? Have you ever shown them pictures of what you dressed like in the 80s and 70s?
They find it odd what I walk around in anyway, so if we go back in time...
I mean, look at... There's that.
Yeah.
And then I think we have that.
Well, that's a natural
That's
one.
tame.
Yeah.
That's tame also.
That's tame.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Not tame, no,
that must have been heavy to have on your head.
It was, yeah.
God, you had so much hair back then.
I know, it's so great. It was cheaper to buy back then.
Yeah. Look at that. I mean, it was amazing to watch all the outfits.
That's Bob Mackie.
That's great. That's fantastic. So let's talk about the Oscars are next month, and you throw the greatest Oscar party. It's not only fun and everybody goes to it, but you have amazing music.
Yeah.
And who is performing this year?
Me.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm doing it this year.
Wow. That's fantastic.
Well, my album's called Wonderful Crazy Night, so we're going to call the Oscar party Wonderful Crazy Night. And every year, last year Ed Sheeran did it, and we've had Florence the Machine, John Legend, John Mayer, Grace Jones. So many great people have done it.
That'll be great. Of course, it's time for you to do it.
Yeah.
And your album is called Wonderful Crazy Night. As you said, it's your 32nd album.
33rd.
33rd?
Yeah, who knew?
Wow. I was counting and I said 32nd. That's amazing. So, you recorded this album, and this seems, am I wrong in this? It's 17 days?
We did 14 tracks in 17 days, last in January 2015 and April. And we had an idea of what it was going to be about. I wanted to write a joyous rock and roll record with very happy lyrics because I was feeling very happy. And it all turned out exactly how I wanted it to be. My band played on it, produced by T-Bone Burnett, and we just had a ball. And it sounds like an Elton 70s record made in 2015.
That's fantastic. Congratulations on that. And before we go to break, I don't know what your kids will end up doing, but Auntie Ellen wanted to give them something. And this is not pushing it on them, but just in case they want something to...
Oh, my God. That's amazing.
Well, Maybe they'll play, maybe they won't. I'm not pushing it on them, but they'll have them in the room.
How do you expect me to get on an airline with that? Yeah.
You'll figure out
I can
a
use
way.
them as earrings.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome. Elton's going to perform from his new CD, Wonderful Crazy Night, a little later on. We'll be right back. Elton John, everyone.